sentry, sir. Half asleep. He'd be court-martialed if he was in the cavalry.
Shouldn't be any trouble, General. Couldn't be more than a half a dozen of them. It's just a hunting party that sneaked off the reservation. Suppose we ought to forget we seen them.
I'd like to, Joe, but my orders are to drive them back to the reservation. Sergeant, put the men out so they're surrounding the camp. And pass the word there'll be no shooting. Sergeant, I mean no shooting. First man who fires a shot will answer to me. My orders are to drive them back to the reservation, not to kill them.
Take cover! We come as friends. We want no fighting.
Not your fault, Colonel. Pretty hard to convince an Indian that you're not trying to kill him. Especially when he won't give you a chance to talk.
General, over here. This here's an Indian called Black Eagle. He's the younger brother of Chief Tall Knife.
Get me some water. Something to pack this wound. I've got to stop the bleeding. Never mind, Sergeant. He's dead.
One of them braves got away. He gets back to the camp and tells Tall Knife that one of your men killed his brother. Tall Knife's gonna start the biggest dad-blame Indian war you ever did see.
At 24, he had been the youngest general in the Civil War. Within 5 years, he had been reduced in rank and sent west to be forgotten. But he was not the kind of man to let the world forget. His name, George Armstrong Custer.
Sergeant?
Yes, sir.
Form a burial detail and then dismiss the rest of the men.
Yes, sir. All right, you heard him. You all just volunteered for burial detail. Dismount and lead off.
Oh, thank you, Melinda. Now, being stuck with a sister around here isn't nearly half as bad as I expected it to be.
I'm not so sure that I consider that a compliment.
Huh? Well, it was meant to be. As a matter of fact, I find myself envying your husband. Got a fine family. 3 nice boys and a wife who can cook the way you can.
Thank you.
Tell the truth, it's been a real pleasure having you out here for a visit, even during these troubled times. If only you hadn't brought that blasted female dragon with you.
Temper, temper, Alfred. Besides, you're the one who insisted that I mustn't travel alone.
Yes, but why bring that female horse Greeley with you? Do you know what she had the nerve to say to me at breakfast this morning?
No.
This is the red man's land, implying that we didn't have any right to be here at all.
Alfred, you are being so unkind to Anna. Besides, you didn't know her during the war. She was so young, so beautiful, and so much in love.
But Anna Coldstone Peverly?
Yes. And John Peverly. He was a young firebrand, always backing the downtrodden, fighting for social reform. He's the one that founded the magazine Bold Venture as part of that fight. And then when he was killed during the war, Anna was determined to carry on for him.
Just the same, the blasted female goes too far. Now, the next thing you know, she'll be advocating smoking and wearing men's pants, as well as voting.
And what would be so wrong with that?
Well, I'll tell you what would be so wrong with that. The thing that... Come in!
Okay. Reporting in from patrol, sir.
At ease, Colonel. I heard about Tall Knife's brother. Couldn't have happened at a worse time.
I took every possible precaution, sir, but...
I know that. It wasn't your fault. You were merely carrying out orders.
But it was my responsibility, sir. There was absolutely no point in bothering that hunting party at all, sir. There's no sense to this policy of driving the Indians here and driving them there.
We don't make policy, Colonel. We merely carry it out.
And the people who make the policy should be out here to see what's going on. Some fool in Washington sits behind a desk and issues a senseless order, not realizing how many men are going to die trying to carry it out.
Well, it is an order, Colonel. It is an order.
That's right, sir. It's an order. But if I hadn't followed orders last night, 7 men would be alive today. 7. And a harmless hunting party of Cheyenne would have eventually wandered back to their reservation. Out here on the frontier, an officer has the right to question idiotic orders.
All right, now that's enough. Your flair for individual effort has already cost you your general star and your regiment. I'm going to overlook your statement because I can see that you're upset. But when you're given an order, you will follow out that order, or charges are going to be preferred against you. You know that, don't you?
Yes, sir.
General Terry, is it true that there was an unprovoked attack against a Cheyenne hunting party by soldiers of your command?
We'll continue this discussion later, Colonel.
Exactly the attitude I expected you to take, General Terry. I'm out of Coldstone Peverly, Colonel Custer, General Terry's house guest. You were on patrol when we arrived, but I have been looking forward to meeting you.
I'm privileged to meet you, Miss Peverly. It is Miss Peverly.
It's Mrs. Peverly, Colonel Custer. My husband was killed during the Civil War.
You have my sympathy, ma'am.
I didn't expect you to be so socially conventional, Colonel Custer. To express banalities you have no reason to mean.
Mrs. Peverly is a social reformer and a militant suffragette. Militant.
And thoroughly disapproved of by General Terry. You see, I'm the publisher and editor of Bold Venture. Perhaps you've heard of the magazine.
I'm afraid I have, Mrs. Peverly. You published a number of articles about me. None of them flattering.
That is quite correct.
But then again, you don't approve of most of the actions of Congress, or the president either.
An office I understand you hold some ambition for.
If so, can I count on your vote, Mrs. Peverly?
Aren't you being a little bit premature, Colonel? Man has to be over 35 years of age to hold the presidency in this country. Now, Mrs. Peverly, if you'll excuse us, this is a military matter.
And to be surrounded by the customary secrecy and misinformation usually provided by the Department of War.
May I remind you, Mrs. Peverly, that you are a guest in my house?
That does not change the fact that my duty requires me to investigate all matters concerning the public welfare.
Despite your convictions of equality between the sexes, you still take advantage of being a woman, don't you, Mrs. Peverly?
blasted pants-wearing female. Just the same, I think you ought to know that she's got enough influence to affect your entire military career.
In what way?
In any way she pleases. In spite of the fact that she continually criticizes government policy in her magazine, she's still President Grant's favorite niece.
Grant's niece?
Yeah.
President Grant and his brother Orville aren't exactly my most ardent admirers.
Well, that's precisely why I warned you. Hey, come in.
It's Tall Knife, sir.
What about Tall Knife?
Well, he's come here, sir. He says he's come for the body of his brother. And he's wanting to talk to Colonel Custer.
I'd better talk to him. You stay here, Colonel.
I'm sorry, sir. But I think Tall Knife has a right to see me. I owe it to the man.
You owe him nothing.
I was responsible for his brother's death. I'd like to explain how it happened.
All right. Go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Tall Knife, I grieve with you for the death of your brother. I didn't order it. It was mistaken in the darkness before I let
Black Eagle was little more than a boy. He was like a son to me. Did he attack any of your men?
No. My orders were to move the Cheyenne
Did he
back...
commit any crimes against the laws of the white man?
There were no crimes committed, Tall Knife. Black Eagle and his hunting party wandered off the reservation.
For this he was killed?
No, not for that. It was dark. My men moved in to surprise your people so there'd be no shooting. One of my men stumbled. Without warning, a fight broke out.
Then one of your men killed my brother. For no reason. For no reason.
No, I won't fight with you. We've been friends too long.
Yellow Hair is a coward.
Men should fight with honor and for honor. Black Eagle's dead. It was a mistake, and I'm sorry for it. At ease!
Yellow Hair refuses to fight as a warrior fights. But this will not end what is between us. We shall hunt one more time, Yellow Hair. Death hunt of the Cheyenne.
You and your men attacked a small Cheyenne hunting party and murdered all but one of them. Isn't that true?
From your point of view, it is.
What other point is there?
For more than 100 years, the Plains tribes have fought the growth of this country. Now they stand in the direct path of uniting the two halves of our nation. In any war, mistakes are made.
War? Our trampling upon the rights of the Indian tribes by armed might? I am very familiar with your career here on the frontier, as well as with the infamous record of the 7th Cavalry Regiment.
Cite your record, Mrs. Beverly.
Gladly, Colonel Custer. The massacre of the Cheyenne at the Washita River. You attacked before dawn 2 years ago, and that tribe of the Cheyenne Nation was almost destroyed by your ruthless slaughter.
The punitive raid against Black Kettle and the Cheyenne was ordered by General Philip H. Sheridan. This is a copy of his official report. Between the months of August and November 1868, the settlers of Kansas and Colorado sustained the following losses. Murdered, 117. Wounded, 16. Scalped and mutilated, 32. Women outraged, 14. Women captured and never seen again, 4. Horses and mules stolen, 619. Stock cattle stolen, 958. It is these acts of incredible rapine and murder that forced the attack on Black Kettle and his Cheyenne.
The newspapers said that there were only women and children at the Cheyenne village, and yet you attacked.
7th Cavalry sustained 37 losses. I counted 103 dead Cheyenne braves. I killed Black Kettle myself.
You are as convincing as I've been told you are, Colonel Custer. But how do you justify your attack on Tall Knife's brother and his hunting party?
For your information, Mrs. Beverly, I don't.
Do you intend to drop the matter and let it be forgotten as the incident on the Washita was forgotten?
I intend to take whatever action I consider necessary.
And so do I. I intend to publicize what has happened, and I promise you that pressure will be brought upon the Secretary of War to institute a formal investigation.
Tall Knife without the troop. I've got to convince him that I spoke the truth about his brother.
You know what he meant by that invitation to a death hunt, don't you?
I know.
You're sure picking a hard way for you and me to commit suicide. Why, he'll have our scalps a-dangling from a teepee pole before dark.
Just see that my horse is saddled and ready. You don't have to come along, California. I can find Tall Knife's village alone.
Well, I've always said that the Cheyenne was a whole lot meaner than the Sioux are. I reckon now's just as good a time as any to put her to the test. In the name of scientific research. Them fellers at that new Smithsonian Institution is sure going to be awful thankful to you and me. I'll go get the mule and the horse.
Should have sighted Tall Knife's lodges by now.
The last time I was up this way, he's camped off yonder in that valley.
Why would Tall Knife move his people away from good water and his horses from good grazing?
Well, the only reason I can think of is to hide these women and children so him and his braves can hit the war trail.
We've got to find him.
Sure does beat all how fast a whole Cheyenne village can disappear into thin air.
Look.
Nestor's cabin over yonder. Church people didn't even own a gun. Didn't believe in them. Look, I'll be doggone. Would you take a look at that, General? That many braves ain't for our benefit.
It's Tall Knife, and he's after bigger game than us.
He's going to attack Fort Hays.
Let's ride.
Prepare for attack. Close the gates. Man the walls. They're burning. burning up the countryside. They're killing, just running over the crops, man. It's something fierce. They ain't half a mile behind us, and they're moving fast. Hey, move that periscope.
Get on those walls. Bugler, sound the alarm.
What's going on, Custer?
We're being attacked, sir. Tall knife. Hold your fire till they're within 100 yards. As you were. They won't attack yet.
Well, you bet they won't put it off for long, General.
You're right, California. Sergeant, give me a fresh horse.
Yes, sir. You stay right there, Sergeant. You remain inside this fort, Colonel.
This has to be settled with Tall Knife now, sir.
He'd like nothing better than to suck you into a trap.
I can take care of myself, General Terry.
That's a risk that I refuse to take. You'll countermand your order to the sergeant immediately.
Yes, sir.
I hate to say it, but General Terry's right, you know.
California, when are you going to learn to keep that big mouth of yours shut?
I gotta admit, Sergeant, I'm just about as good at sticking my foot in my big mouth as the next man.
Taking this fort could be a job. But there just might be enough of them to do it, Captain.
I'm thinking the same thing myself, James B.
Open the gate.
I'll do the talking, Custer. Why are you here, Tall Knife? You've signed a treaty that there are to be no more wars between us.
I want yellow hair.
You talk like a fool. What about our treaties?
Did the treaty stop yellow hair from killing my warriors?
You were told that was a mistake.
Give me yellow hair, or I leave this place in ashes. At sunrise, we fight.
Colonel, you'll see to it that the men are prepared to defend this fort at dawn. Sorry, but you have no choice in the matter.
General Terry, I resent being sent packing this way. I'm a representative of the American press, and it was my
You're
duty.
also a woman, and it's my duty to see that you're safely conveyed out of danger. You don't seem to realize, Mrs. Beverly, that this fort is under the threat of an immediate attack by an overwhelming force of Cheyenne warriors.
And you don't seem to realize...
The things are in the Surrey now. Now, if you'll get aboard, please.
Thank you, Colonel Custer. I'm only sorry the time was so short. I was counting on having you to dinner.
I'm looking forward to another time very soon. Things will quiet down. They always do.
I hope so. Do be careful.
I will, thank you.
Come on, Melinda.
And you be careful, too, Alfred. Don't always be letting yourself go. It's a disgrace how little care you men take.
I know. You've got to be miles away from here before dawn.
I will look forward to our next meeting, Colonel Custer.
I can hardly wait myself.
I do not need your help.
Mount the detail, Sergeant.
Detail, mount up!
You can make Cedar Springs before daybreak. Should be safe to camp there for the rest of the night, and then move on to Fort Riley.
Yes, sir.
The gates are open, Sergeant. Move them out.
Yes, sir.
I don't mind saying that that's a load off my mind. Good night, gentlemen.
Good night, sir.
Good night, sir.
Sorry about the bumps, ladies. This here's Cedar Springs. And we made it without losing our hair. Begging your pardon, ma'am. All right, we'll make camp here. McGee, you take first watch. Keep a good look out at our back. We don't want any unwanted guests. We'll be here about 3 hours. We'll leave right after sunup. Here's some blankets.
Thank you, Sergeant Busted.
My pleasure, ma'am. I'll get some water.
Thinking about Colonel Custer?
I detest the man and everything he stands for.
You don't mean that. Tell me, Anna, have you ever thought about remarrying?
I haven't even the time to think about it.
Then take time before it's too late. You shut out everything that makes life worth living for a woman. A home, a man, children.
I have my work. Nothing else matters.
Not now, perhaps. But the years have a strange way of passing you by. And regrets aren't much consolation as you grow older.
Corporal of the guard. Post number 1, trooper coming in on foot.
Over the gate!
What happened?
They hit us at night, sir. Hard. We didn't have a chance.
Did they kill the women?
They're as good as dead, sir. The Cheyenne loaded them into the Surrey and drove off with them. I played dead. That's all I could do.
Better get over to the hospital and have the surgeon take a look at that wound.
Sir, about the women?
We'll get them back, Sergeant.
Colonel, I'll be ready to ride any time you say.
Get them over to the hospital.
Corporal of the guard, post number 1, engine coming in.
That man doesn't return to his camp. It's the last we'll ever see of those 2 women they've captured. Is Tall Knife a squaw that he makes war on women?
Tall Knife does not want the women. You come alone, and they go free. You stay here, and they die.
Well, General, do we saddle up?
No, we don't. Not one man leaves this fort. And that's an order. Request the General's permission to be excused from duty, sir.
If anything happens to those women... What's that? What'd you say?
There's a personal matter I have to attend to, sir.
Between you and Tall Knife, I suppose?
Yes, sir.
I can't permit any foolhardy acts of gallantry.
General Terry, you heard that Indian. If I don't go, Tall Knife will kill those 2 women.
But even if I allowed you to go, what guarantee would we have that Tall Knife would free them? No. I can allow you to make no move until I order it. Is that clear?
I made a mistake in coming here. But, sir, I thought with your own sister in Tall Knife's hands.
That's enough, Custer.
General Terry, do you realize that...
That's all. You'll confine yourself to quarters until further notice. Now get out of here.
What are you men doing here?
We figured that you might have a little trouble sneaking out a horse, sir. So there's one saddling waiting just 50 yards from the main gate.
What makes you think I need a horse? You know I'm confined to quarters.
Never figured you'd let a little detail like that stand in your road.
And there's a ladder leading against the north wall, so you don't have to use the gate. The sentries might not understand and start yelling for the corporal of the guard.
When I get back, Sergeant, I'm going to have you court-martialed for helping an officer break his confinement to quarters.
Yes, sir.
Came alone.
Keep your word and release the women.
We will hunt together, Yellow Hair. Death hunt. You will take the women with you. If you live, they live.
And you lied. Your word has no honor.
Speak softly, Yellow Hair. You and the women will die now.
We'll hunt your hunt, Tall Knife. And make it one you'll never forget.
At sunrise tomorrow, you will be set free to run. Put him with the women.
You came here alone and unarmed? Why didn't you bring the regiment?
You'd be dead right now if I brought them. You better get what sleep you can. You're gonna need all your strength in a few hours. It's almost dawn. They'll be coming for us soon.
I'm not asleep.
Tall Knife, what did he mean you're going to hunt together?
The Cheyenne are the great hunters of the plains. Their whole history is based on the hunt. They hunt for food, and they hunt for sport. Sometimes when a captive's taken, they often let him go. To get away if he can.
You mean they hunt down a man as they would an animal?
That's correct.
I refuse to run to be chased.
Well, that's your decision to make. But I think you'll run if you have any idea what the Cheyenne do to their female captives.
I don't want to hear any more.
We'll both go with you, Colonel.
Take that with you. When the sun is there, I will come after you. Go.
Let's go.
I can't keep running.
Down this slope, hurry.
No, I've had about enough of this. Is ridiculous.
Be still. Don't spot any rippling in the water.
Which way? That way.
You want them to catch you?
I can't swim.
My mistake.
They give up.
And they've got our scalps. We've got to keep moving.
Run for those trees. Keep moving. If I don't join you, keep moving me. I thought I told you to keep going.
Not without you. What are you going to do?
Try to even the odds a little if I can. Now keep moving. Up here. They can't ride up on these rocks.
I can.
We're almost there.
Now the hunt will end, Yellow Hair.
Black Eagle was killed by accident, Tall Knife. There's no reason for us to fight. Stop now, before it's too late.
No. Over, Yellow Hair. We will fight no more. You have proved the truth of your words about Black Eagle, the warrior's way.
And it will be as it was before. There will be peace between us.
There will be peace between us.
Rest over here. It's a long and eventful walk back to Fort Hays. Good evening, sir.
What do you want, Custer? I didn't send for you.
I did, General Terry.
You did? May I ask why you feel privileged to summon one of my officers to your beck and call? You may be General Grant's niece, but by the great horned toad, don't you think... Yes, what is it, Melinda?
May I see you for just a minute, please?
Yes, of course you can see me. I'm standing right here in front of you.
Alone.
Alone? Now, why should you want to see me?
General Terry.
Huh. Yeah. Good. Well, I don't know what that was. Oh.
May I say, Mrs. Beverly, that you look lovely.
Thank you. This is Melinda's dress. It's been so long since The reason I wanted to see you, Colonel Custer, is that I feel I owe you an apology. My opinion of you is...
It's an opinion shared by many people. I was wrong about you, too.
In what way?
Despite all you went through, you showed no sign of weakness, and I admire that in anyone, male or female.
Thank you. But my apology still stands. For the first time, I think I understand you a little. But I'd like to know more. What you think and what you are inside.
I'm a soldier, Mrs. Beverly. No more, no less. What I do think is that this country must have a chance to grow and become great. To do that, a price must be paid.
But is it worth such a terrible price?
It is to me.
All right, Samuels, this way.
Dan?
Well, all the brass come to see me off, huh? This must give you a lot of pleasure.
You're wrong, Dan. I hope you'll be back soon.
Well, that's mighty nice of you, Colonel.
Sure, Colonel. I reckon 3 years in prison will go pretty fast. I tell you what, I come back and we just forget the whole thing. But bygones be bygones, huh? Let's go, Sergeant.
Wait. Take those off him.
But, Colonel...
This man's been trusted with the lives of a whole regiment. Now take them off.
Yes, sir.
What's all this?
There's still a little time yet. And there's someone out there waiting to see you. Go ahead. You two men stay with him, but hang back far enough to give him a little privacy.
I don't like it, Colonel. You're taking an awful chance.
I know, Sergeant. General Terry doesn't like it either.
I suppose it's the least we can do. After all, he has served the Army well.
And it is his wife, sir. And she is pregnant.
All right, take him back to the barracks. You'll be all right, sir. But the other one, I should have had that horse checked for weapons.
Don't blame yourself, Sergeant. It wasn't your fault. Any of it.
But you'd think that the man, after all the years he's been around the Army, he'd...
Act like one of us? No. He's more Indian than anything else. And maybe we'd act the same way, given the same circumstances. Who's to say?
Couldn't get a thing out of her.
No, nothing that'll do any good. She'd rather die first. I'll see what I can do. Red Moon woman.
You said you were his friend.
That's right, I was. I'm your friend, too.
But you sent him to prison.
Not I. It was the Army for what he did.
Feed starving people. My people.
I know it's hard to understand, but the food he gave you people was not his to give. It belonged to the Army.
Not need. My people need.
You may be right. Maybe I even agree with you. But what he's done now has made his trouble much worse. And there's nothing I can do for him. He's going to have to go to prison for a long time.
No, for you will not find him.
That patrol won't find him, sir.
No, I suppose not. He's the kind that could infiltrate a double picket line and be standing right beside you before he even knew he was there.
Yep, he was a good scout, but he sure fixed his wagon. Ain't gonna let him off with no 3 years this time.
Yeah, it's a tragedy of it. The review board would have been a certainty. Samuels wouldn't have had to serve, 6 months at the most.
6 months to a man like Dan. Being cooped up seemed like a lifetime. Cooped up for something the Army should have done itself.
He just couldn't wait. Couldn't play it like a civilized man.
Where do you think he'll go?
South eventually, Cheyenne country. His wife's people.
Well, he could hold the woman and maybe he'd come back after her.
Technically, there's no reason why we can't hold her. After all, she did get the horse ready for him.
It won't work, sir. We can't put a pregnant woman in prison.
All right. Turn her loose. Maybe she'll lead us to him.
Yeah, but who knows where?
And when? Probably some Cheyenne lodge a long way from here and a long time from now. But we have very little choice, sir. We can't hold her forever.
Samuels has got to show his face someplace, sometime. And the Army will pick him up. We can't just leave him to the provost marshal.
It might take years and they'd never find him.
Maybe. Maybe not.
He killed one of my men. I'm responsible for that because I sent him out there. And I'm going to see that Samuels answers for it. That's why I'm going after him.
Well, you just said a patrol could never find him.
No, sir, not a patrol. And not waiting to track the woman. Just one man against him, thinking as he does.
No, I can't allow it. The risk would be too great.
Sir, I'm responsible for the death of one of my men. I can't ignore that.
Ah, Custer, I'm sorry for what was said before, but it was completely unforeseen that boy was...
I request an indefinite leave of absence to conduct some personal business.
Well, I suppose if I don't let you go, you'll go anyway. All right. For 1 week. 1 week only. Otherwise, you'll stay out there forever looking for him.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for not saying I told you so. Wait.
I sent a man to get you a horse and some food. My advice to you is to head south to your people. You can't help your man, so you might as well forget him. He won't come there. You'll never see him again.
Springs? Ain't far. Why'd you want to know? A friend of mine told me about it. Sure, it was, prettiest camping ground he ever saw. And the only water for miles. I think he told me it was southwest of here. Told you wrong. Due north. You figuring on going that way?
I don't know. If it's north, it might be out of my way.
Who was this friend that told you?
A fellow by the name of Dan Samuels. Do you know him?
Everybody knows Dan. Come here often.
Been in lately?
Depends on what you mean by lately. You say you're a friend of his?
That's right. Dan and I have been friends for a long time. Are you?
Mister, I'm a friend of any man, red or white, as long as you come here to trade. Just as long as you don't come here to rob me or shoot me.
Well, I bet there are a lot of people around like that.
And they ain't all red.
I hear there's a Sioux war party in this area.
Could be.
Doesn't seem to bother you.
Why should it? They don't bother me and I don't bother them. They need me and I need them. And they ain't enough like you stopping here to keep my business going. Army, ain't you?
Now, how'd you know that?
Ain't hard. You're a horse for one thing. And you ain't no scout like Dan.
Well, not quite. But Dan and I rode quite a few trails together.
And why'd you ask me all them questions?
Thanks for your information.
What kind of information?
Dan Samuels was here, and he warned you to tell me that Lance Springs was due north. Thank you.
Hey, California, let's parley. You'll never convince me your eyes are that bad, Dan.
Now, don't tell me that's you, Colonel.
Now, Dan, you hurt my feelings. You don't even recognize your friends.
have swore that was California. I should have known nobody'd be able to find me out here except you. Say, Colonel, sure I'm sorry about them shots. If I know that was you.
I'll just bet you are.
Oh, come on now, Colonel. You can't believe I'd have done nothing like that on purpose. I mean, I know I got nothing to fear from my old friend, the Colonel. After all we've been through together, we're old friends. Ain't nothing happened to change that, is it? Say, Colonel. Colonel, why don't you come on out? Let's talk this here thing over.
Nothing to talk over, Dan. I came to take you back. Stand trial for murder.
Oh, now, Colonel, I can't believe that. Not you. I mean, you know how it is with a man like me. I can't stand being cooped up in no jail. And as for killing that fella, now, you know there weren't no malice in that. That was just him or me. You know that.
I didn't come here to argue the case, Dan. Just to take you back. Now, why don't you throw down your gun and come out peacefully?
Now, you know I can't do that, Colonel. I just ain't in me. Where does that leave us?
Right where we were, I guess.
Yeah, I reckon so. I don't understand the kind of man that turned on his friend when there's trouble.
It's trouble you made for me, Dan. I trusted you. You betrayed that trust and killed one of my men.
He didn't mean nothing to you.
That man was under my orders. He died because of me.
Now, you understand that I had to do that.
Yeah, that's right. Just like you had to lead me into that trap and try to kill me.
I told you I thought it was California. I sure never thought you'd come riding out after me.
Dan, when I was in that wash, you knew it was me. You've got eyes like an eagle.
Colonel, when I seen it was you, all I wanted to do was scare you off. You think I couldn't have killed you if I'd really had a mind to, huh?
Just now, you would have killed me.
But only if I'd have had to, Colonel.
That makes it right.
Is it right for a man to hold his friend back to jail to rot? Or to hang, maybe?
I don't expect you to understand it. You live by the code of friendship. And I live by the code of law and justice.
Justice?
That's right, justice. You'd have had it. You just hadn't killed that man.
Yeah, so you say.
We were working on your appeal. We could have gotten your sentence reduced. Down to about 6 months. That's all through now. You fixed that, and it's out of my hands.
No, it ain't. Not yet. Not here now, it ain't. Colonel, it ain't nobody's hands but yours. You could let me go and nobody'd ever know anything about it.
That's right.
And I guarantee you one thing, I'll never get caught again.
I believe you.
But you ain't gonna do it, are you?
Nope. I'm gonna take you back.
Well, now, Colonel, that's just liable to take a little doing. Look up on that hill back yonder.
Dan.
Oh, Suze, that's a war party. They must have heard them shots and come sniffing. I bet they're just itching to lift a little white eye hair. Wouldn't they dance so that they end up with a scalp of old yellow hair?
Just forget one thing, Dan. Out here without the protection of your wife, you're just another white eye yourself. And they'd be just as happy to lift your scalp.
You didn't tell me nothing, Colonel. The whole thing is, if you're going to take me back and hang me, you're going to have to save my skin from them.
That's just what I intend to do. Let's go. All the way to the top. Let's go.
Stay nice and quiet, and they'll never find you.
Yes.
What about them?
Soon.
It's sure gonna be something. It's sure gonna be something.
Yellow hair?
We don't have to worry about him.
Maybe you ought to, Dan. Don't turn around. Don't force me to spill your blood.
You got that gun?
I have.
Shame it ain't loaded.
Don't try it. You just take your gun and you just throw it across that fire. Nice and easy. No quick moves, Dan. That's it. Now the knife. Same way. Slow. You shouldn't count a man out, Dan, until you see him buried.
I sure have to remember that, Colonel. How'd you track me in the dark?
I didn't. I remembered how you always talked about Lance Spring, and how you and Red Moon Woman used to come here and camp often. It's the only water for miles, you said. So when you got close enough, I figured you planned to meet her here.
Why didn't you just come directly here? Why'd you bother to track me at all?
I figured if I didn't follow you, you'd get suspicious. Just bypass the place.
You knew it was a trap and you just took a chance anyway, right?
I figured I could take you. If it hadn't been for those Sioux Braves, we'd be on our way right now to Fort Hays.
Yeah, well, them Braves are still out there looking for us someplace.
I know. But we'll be heading for Fort Hays in a few hours.
We will, huh? Back to the hangman's news, huh? Or worse yet, spend the rest of my life in jail. Colonel, I lived all my days free.
You should have thought of that before you pulled that trigger.
Well, if I'd thought about it, I wouldn't be here talking about it. I mean, I'd be dead, too. And I don't die easy, Colonel. I mean, you know that, all the battles we've been through together. Now, there was a time when that meant something to you.
Still does, Dan. I haven't forgotten.
Well, it sure seems to me like you forgot it. I mean, I'd say you owe me something, Colonel.
We don't owe each other anything anymore, Dan. In those days, we were fighting for the same thing. Law, order, civilization.
You sure talk highfalutin, Colonel. I'll tell you about your civilization. I got no use for it.
That's right. You're still the same. Every man for himself. No responsibility to anyone or anything. Times are changing, Dan. There's just no place for you anymore.
You're wrong, Colonel. You're wrong. I belong right here. My woman being the way she is, I got me something to fight for now. You ain't got me back to Fort Hays yet.
You gonna kill me, Dan?
If I have to, I promise you, Colonel.
In spite of old times?
In spite of everything. Now, if we're gonna get back, you better get started because it's a lot safer traveling in the dark.
All right. Cover that fire.
What about her? She don't have to go back.
I'm afraid she has to. I can't trust her. Not until I have you secured, but as soon as I do that, I'll let her go, I promise you.
I stay with him.
I'm afraid that's not possible.
He die, I die too.
Certainly not that. We don't do things that way.
I not understand white man's ways. You are his friend. You let him go.
I can't. Not after what he's done. He's made it impossible.
You not take him back to die.
I told you.
You let him go. Red Moon Woman go back with you. Do whatever you want to with her. Your woman put in prison, killed, anything.
It's a Cheyenne woman for you.
She's a good woman, Dan. Deserves better than you.
I sure ain't gonna argue that with you.
Look, you can't take his place, and you can't buy his freedom because we don't do things like that. I'm still your friend. I'll do anything else I can to help you. Just come to me and ask. Now, you stay right where I can keep an eye on you.
Colonel, stay.
Right there.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Can't trust her on the horse either. We walk.
Suit yourself, Colonel. Can't be your time. It's too soon.
Apparently it is. She sure picked a fine.
What do we do?
She's gonna have to do most of it. We can't make her more comfortable. I'll get something for her.
Something bad. Not right. Turned.
Colonel, I think we got trouble.
In more ways than one. Look.
They're coming here for water. We haven't got time to get away, Colonel.
She can't be moved very far anyway.
Go. Go. I stay. Then I'd follow.
You think if we left her, that'd help her?
Not enough.
Colonel, you better go. But you got to go by yourself, because I ain't leaving her.
Neither am I.
Colonel, you can still get away. If they catch you here, they'll kill you, and you won't die easy, I tell you.
Will you shut up and help me?
Settling in for the night.
They haven't picked up any of our signs anyway.
Colonel, ain't there nothing you can do for her?
I'm a soldier, not a doctor. I'll try and make her more comfortable.
Why'd you stay? Colonel, you gonna try to take me in after this?
What do you think?
You must want to see me hang awful bad. It's real sad torture.
Is that why you think I did it, Dan?
I don't know. Yeah, that's your own horse, all right. Hey, Colonel, I think...
Never mind that. The pain seems to be getting worse. I may need your help soon.
What do I do? Die, is she, Colonel?
Not if I can help it.
What's wrong with her? I mean, Cheyenne women usually have babies like it was nothing.
Red Moon woman. You said the baby was turned wrong. Maybe I can help you.
Colonel, did you ever birth a baby before?
wish you hadn't asked me that. Well, horses have them. I've set up with my mare, getting it through her time. I don't know, maybe I can help. Get back, give me some room.
Face. That's a mountain, man, if I ever seen one.
You're wrong, Dan.
Huh? You mean?
It's a girl.
It is?
Girl? I have not given you a son.
Of course you ain't, woman. How many times have I told you how I feel about boys? I got no use for them. Yelling, romping all over the place all the time. A man wants a daughter to make his life worth living. Oh. Besides, you wait till she gets growed up. Never a buck in the territory will be hanging around, making me rich with horses, wanting to marry her. Well, you've done fine. I wanted a girl all along. I just scared to say so. An Indian kid ain't got much of a chance in a white man's town. He'd call her a half-breed, treat her like dirt under their feet. Amongst the tribe, she's going to be something special. Regular Cheyenne princess, Colonel. She grew up tall, straight, pretty. Walking like a breeze across the meadow. She'll have a voice like dripping honey. You just wait and see.
You're forgetting something, Dan.
Yeah, I reckon I was. I reckon I was. You poor little thing. What chance you gonna have? Your pa dead, hung before you ain't old enough to recognize him. She grew up wild, no good. Just another half-breed scrounging around for enough to eat.
It's not gonna be like that.
No, it won't, Colonel. No. It sure won't be like that. No, it sure won't be like that.
They're still there. They should be pulling out soon. Then we can leave.
I ain't waiting that long, Colonel. You able to travel, woman?
I'm ready.
You could kill her if you make her walk anywhere.
Well, I'm aiming to try to borrow a pony for her to ride. Besides, you don't know much about Indian women. She got more strength of body than most white men you'll ever meet.
I have to remind you, Dan, that you're still my prisoner.
Colonel, you better think about that. Ain't nothing in the world roan horses like better than the scalpy yellow hair. That long yellow hair of yours dangling at the end of his war lance, wouldn't he walk tall, though? Wouldn't he be the biggest Indian in the whole Indian nation? And you raise a ruckus about me and my woman walking out of here, and he's going to hear you. If you're crazy enough to shoot me, you got to know you ain't going to last longer than about a minute more than me anyway. I know you want to take me back, Colonel. It does look like it's out of your hands finally, don't it?
Don't be a fool, Dan. You know that roan horse is half mad. He doesn't need a reason to kill you. You're a white eyes to him.
I'll take my chance. Going back with you, I ain't got any. Make up your mind. You gonna use that gun or not? Looks like they found some more of our signs. They'll be finding us directly, too. What if we go out to meet them? Let's just act like we've been holed up here resting. We'll tell them that you're kin to Black Beaver and we're on our way south to meet him. I think they'll let us go. Come on. After they've gone, I think you can find your way back, can't you?
Doesn't end here, Dan. I've got to come after you again.
Cheyenne, kin to Black Beaver. We're heading south. Cheyenne hunting grounds. We're gonna stay with our folks.
You come from that way?
The north? No, we come from that way, the west.
No horse?
We had a horse. Give it on. It's dead back there some distance.
Yours blue coat horse?
Army? No. Why?
Dead horse, that way. Blue coat horse.
Got nothing to do with me. I ain't been that way. Why, what's wrong?
Vanahia.
Ask you if there's something wrong. Because otherwise, me and my wife, we gotta be moving on. We gotta make tracks south before dark.
You come from that way?
Well, horse, I told you we come from over there, from the west. Looks like we're gonna miss that rope.
Easy, man.
You tell her that I tried. Here, you tell her. You tell her she was my little princess. Hey. What's all that? You ain't gonna have no moaning after I'm gone, you hear? Put that an Indian squaw for you. Colonel, I always had a hankering to see the other side of the mountains.
Now my man will be forgotten. The wind blows and he's gone.
Maybe, Red Moon Woman. Maybe. But the giants will always be remembered. The giants who walked the earth when it was young. In a way, your man was a giant. He went where no other white man went before him, and he made it possible for others to follow.
And that is good.
That's good.
But the bad thing he did.
The world changes. Dan couldn't change with it. That was his trouble. He was a good man. I'll miss him. He was my friend.
I go.
Is there anything I can do?
No, there is nothing.
Baby?
She will grow and be strong. She will be a woman, a Cheyenne woman.